Election Day 2025. Congratulations, we've made it. This is the moment of American democracy, but we have a little bit of a new flair here in 2025. We got a lot of bomb threats going on. We also have the government shutdown happening right now, so it's kind of curious to see who shows up, who votes, and who wins and loses. Will the country win? But today is November 4th, 2025, depending on when you actually watch this video. Millions of Americans are taking to the polls right now. This is a high-stakes off-year election, and it could reshape the state leadership in a few states, also signal the national moods of what we're going to see in 2026 in the midterms. Gubernatorial races in New Jersey and Virginia right now, a fiercely contested mayoral run in New York City, which I've covered extensively, and also the California's Proposition 50 redistricting measure is on the ballot. So the election day arrives against a backdrop of unprecedented turmoil right now. We have the longest government shutdown. Congratulations, is going into its 36th day. And also, though, there's a wave of bomb threats going on in the targeted polling area. So that's kind of scary because, you know, who actually votes on election day? And that would more likely, statistically, be Republicans. So they're going to be really affected by these bomb threats. Wonder where they're coming from. Mamdani comes out and says it's all Trump's fault. We're not sure how that played out, like as in the White House is setting up these bomb threats. Anyway, I digress on that whole situation. That thing is a smokescreen. But this is a very fragile moment in our democratic process. And we can only highlight the high voter turnout. People have to get out and actually vote right now, particularly among the Republicans, because it's more crucial than ever before because of all these local affairs. They're a litmus test of if President Trump is doing a good job or not. But in Virginia, Democratic Rep. Abigail Spanberger faces Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears in a gubernatorial showdown that could flip the state's executive branch. Now, Virginia is home to thousands of federal workers, all furloughed by the shutdown, and they've seen an early voting surge of 1.4 million ballots, about a 20% increase from 2021, fueled by frustrations over delayed paychecks and economic uncertainty. So you're wondering about that. If you're wondering, actually, Washington, D.C., right there in Virginia, a lot of people live in Virginia and the Commonwealth. And it's like one of those things where I saw a report that the NAACP is backing Spanberger, and nothing, I forget what NAACP stands for, but I can't remember who they represent, but obviously they're still representing the Democrats in this situation, even though Earle-Sears is, African-American, black, and Spanberger is white. But hey, race politics aside, that's not something I get into. It's just something I'm reporting on. That's what we're seeing right now. Put it in the comments what you think about that. New Jersey's governor race right now pits a Democrat and a Republican against each other. The Republican obviously endorsed emphatically by President Donald Trump. So we're seeing this thing where it's within the margin of error. Again, it just matters about who shows up. You got two candidates that could take over New Jersey, and that could be a huge, huge swing if New Jersey goes red. But in New York City, I've done, I think, 3 other videos about Mamdani, about who he is, what he represents, the things that he said. Look at those past videos. But this is kind of huge because you got Democrat socialist Zoran Mamdani, you got independent Andrew Cuomo, which is funny to say independent, and the Republican Curtis Sliwa. Now, Trump has come in labeling Mamdani as a communist. That's easy to say. And he's also endorsed Cuomo as the kind of medium playing. And I'm wondering this as if you can't tell, a really hardcore Republican and people that look at voting records and everything else. And I'm kind of like, all right, if you're a Republican and they're going to look at your voting record and you don't vote for Sliwa, is that going to affect you because you didn't vote for a Republican today and you voted for Cuomo? Now, if you voted for Mamdani, yeah, you're done. But if you voted for Cuomo in this race because you don't want Mamdani to ruin the entire city, state, northeastern part of the country, and is that different? So I'm wondering if that I'm down the right. Truth between lines. That's what I think about, because I know if I look at people's voting records and I'm saying, okay, this is the person. Well, if they didn't vote for the Republican and they voted for a independent past Democrat, just something to think about. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. But These radical policies, though, they could drain the federal funds from the city if Trump turns around and says, I just don't want to put money there anymore in New York City. Could be an interesting thing if Mamdani wins. Let's just put it that way. Watch the other videos. And I mentioned California's Proposition 50. It seeks to redraw the districting for a fair representation, countering the Republican efforts in Texas and what's going on there. Trump decreed this as a giant scam on social media, urging voters to reject what he calls rigged outcomes. Now, I was living in California when this all came out under Governor Schwarzenegger, and we all voted to have Congress do the lines, or as far as the people sign off on all of these redistricting, or districting for that matter, not redistricting. And I'm looking back and it's like we all voted for that, and now they're asking us to change it completely. And I'm like, all right, well, Governor Newsom and all of his wisdom, is he going to win by people passing this? So I don't know. I think, again, a lot of people don't even know anything about this at all. They don't understand it, so they just vote for whatever sign they saw, and who knows if this is going to pass or not. But today is the 36th day of the government shutdown, eclipsing the 2019 record that we have. 300,000 federal workers are on unpaid furloughs right now. SNAP benefits are either turned off or they're going to be halved soon in November. We're kind of curious to see how that plan plays out. But industries like tourism and aviation are basically teetering on the brink of a deeper loss because people just aren't out there doing things. The air traffic controllers are kind of calling out sick. It's a lot of stuff, and I think we're at up to about $4 billion in losses right now in travel alone. So that's kind of a curious thing to do. But I mentioned the bomb scares. Obviously, this is a scary situation going on. The voter intimidation compounding, and the shutdown going on too. Kind of tells you why it's so important to early vote. But the people that vote on election day, statistically, they're Republicans. So who is this really hurting? And to think that Trump is behind this because Mamdani said so with no proof at all, it's kind of funny if you watch that clip, but I digress. It's one of those things where it is so important to have your vote in early and make sure it does count, and instead of waiting to the last minute, because these things can kind of happen. And the law enforcement saying that, no problem, nobody's at risk, but they're taking precautions, which is what they should be doing. But there's about 7 different counties that are shut down in New Jersey that kind of had to move, well, I shouldn't say shut down, moved around, kind of delayed. All the different details still coming out. I'm reporting on this quickly, which is not something I really do. I report quickly on it. I'm more of the behind the scenes guy, but hey, that's what we're doing. This is so important. I want to get this out. So we're seeing it. So I'm looking at this, and I'm just really curious to go to bed tonight thinking about who's going to win and what's not going to pass, and waking up tomorrow with the final come in. And I'm waiting for that last, remember that little growth curve when it went up, and then of course 3 a.m. or something, it just shot right up. Remember that? And then went across. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that turns out too. And all we can do is, get out and vote, call your friends in the areas that are having elections, put some money into local candidates, and just help out the people that you want to support, and help out the people that are supporting you as well. So there's so much to do, even when this election passes right now, looking towards the midterms in 2026. And we'll be following it. Check out some of the past videos. Check out the Overton window. I want you to watch that video as well. I'm going to call that one out because we're kind of seeing this right now, this shift. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the video. But this shift, and we're going to find out real quickly with these election results what America expects and what America's mood is going forward. And we'll find out how President Donald Trump reacts. Of course, as always, the media's going to cover that, positive and, of course, negative. But anyway, hey, that is the truth between lines. Leave a comment, like, share, do all those things. I appreciate you guys. We're over 300 subscribers now. That just happened. Truth between lines.
Between the lines.